What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into It Is That Time. We do it every year. Like I said first off, I should say, I am joined with the one, the only, Jake Neverman.
How we doing?
Jake, like I was telling you before we went live today, this has been the 4th year where I'm pretty sure I have had a different host. I'm actually going to check this right now, where I have had a different person with me each time that we have done these, because obviously it's at least the second, because I'm doing it this year with you. Did it last year with Dave. Here's the only difference. The year before Dave, I don't remember. Maybe you do. Did I do it twice with Sean or only once with Sean?
I don't remember.
Jake's
honestly.
like, I don't know. Jake's like, I have no idea. So last year was Dave and I. 2019 was Sean and I.
Yes.
Let's see. 2018 was Mark and I. So yeah, this is the 4th year. It was 2018, Mark and I. That was Mark's last year. Sean and I did it 2019 season. Dave and us did it for the 2020 season. And now you have you and I together.
You're like Tom Brady.
Yeah. Well, am I like Tom Brady, or who's somebody that's, it's either Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Who else have done it? Have gone to like another team and won a Super Bowl? Did Montana win a Super Bowl with 2 teams?
No, I don't think so.
Did Unitas? Brett Favre should have, but I'm not going to go there. Brett Favre should have, but I am not going to go there. But
if he didn't throw a crossbody 20-yard interception with 12 seconds left, then maybe they could have.
I mean, let's be honest. Brett Favre gonna Brett Favre. Like at the end of the day, Brett Favre is gonna fucking Brett Favre. And if it's not throwing crossbody into a pinhole, the hole the size of a pinhole, then I don't know what Brett Favre is gonna do. But I digress. We are here to make our official NFL predictions. If you are new, either watching on YouTube live right now or you're watching on YouTube after the fact, how we do it is we go through each division. We talk about each division. We give you our records and the standings for each division. And then we talk playoffs. Jake takes us through his playoff matchups. I take you through mine. Last year, I think what we did was like round by round. We talked about like what we could see for the playoffs. Last year was the new format. This is the 2nd year now of that new format, so it's nothing new for us. Also, what I'm going to do is at the end, before the playoffs, Jake, a fun thing that I don't want you to look at it because I know you have not looked at it. I am going to reveal our top 5 in the NFL draft based on our records. So who we think is going to be the top 5 picks of the draft next year. Also, I'm going to have FanDuel opened because as we go through records, I'm going to just say, based on our records, what predictions or what bets do you and I think are best bets? Because we weren't thinking about it that way. So if you have like an over on a team that's like plus money, I'm going to let the people say it, that Jake is all for it. But that is how we're going to do it. Remember, subscribe to the channel, support us on patreon.com/MVPvids, or become a channel member today to get videos early, like the trade videos that I'm going to do, any future videos that we do that are not live. You can get those early and other rewards. And make sure to, let's see, I said subscribe, I said support. Oh, join the Discord. It's down below. It's free. It's a great community. You guys should join it. We're talking sports each and every day. But Jake, I am not going to waste the people's time. We have done that for about 10 or so minutes. I'm going to kick it to you. We're going to start with the AFC North. Sure. What do you got for me? What's going down in the North?
Are we going last to first, or are we going first to last?
Well, I mean, as soon as you start going, all four teams are going to show up, so I would go first to last.
Okay, so in first place in the AFC North, I have the Cleveland Browns going 12-5. In second place, I have the Baltimore Ravens going 11-6. In third place, I have the Steelers going 8-9. And in fourth place, I have the Cincinnati Bengals going 6-11.
Man, FanDuel is really hard to kind of navigate. But for me, I'm on the other, like, for me and you look back and forth. The only thing that's different is you have the Browns in first. I have the Ravens in first. I think the Ravens are going to be the best team. Like, I know J.K. Dobbins is injured. We'll get into it. Ravens still a 13-win team. Maybe I'm too high on them. Steelers and Browns, they're going to fight for it. 10-7 each at second and third, respectively. Steelers and Browns. And then the Bungles. Are they going to bungle this year? Or are they actually going to do good things? I think they do better than most people do. I got them with 7 wins, 7-10. On the season. But Jake, the first thing, like with this division that's interesting about it, and I'm going to say that word about 50 million times this podcast, is the word interesting, is the fact that, so we agree the Bengals are going to be at the bottom. Yes. But they're not, like, I don't think they're going to be a bad team. Like, to me, the Bengals, if you're a Bengals fan right now, the thing you should be most looking forward to this season is A, can your quarterback stay healthy? Stay in the GD pocket, Joe Burrow. Don't go out at all. But to be honest, that offensive line, is it better than it was last year? Because it was god-awful last year, and that was the reason why he got hurt. Like, the thing is, does this team make a leap? How much improvements do you see if Joe Burrow can stay healthy and, like, the big addition with Jamar Chase down there, pairing him up with his boy from LSU?
Yeah, they definitely improved. My biggest question mark with them is still their offensive line. Obviously, taking Jamar Chase in the first round, you're not really going to fault them for that. For reuniting him and Joe Burrow. Taking Jackson Carman, and then really not really addressing the offensive line until the fourth round where they took Deontay Smith. So I think they're good. They have a lot of talent now. Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Like, they have a lot of good players. Adding Trey Hendrickson into the offseason, they don't take the big enough jump. Now, if Burrow stays healthy, anywhere from 6 to 8 wins is where I would have them. I think we agree on that. They're at the bottom, but you definitely see an improvement in the quality of football from them, but they're still not going to be there yet, where they can contend with the Browns or the Ravens of this division.
No, I completely agree. And I was just looking through while you were talking. It's funny that with our records, there is only one team in this division that you are super high on when it comes to, like, Vegas wins losses. Do you know who that is?
Browns, I assume.
It's the Browns. So the Browns over under is 10.5. If you want to follow Jake says hammer that. That's only minus 105 for the over of 10.5 though. For me, I'm higher on two teams that
Baltimore
Vegas
and the
is
Steelers.
lower on. The Ravens, that's plus money. That's plus 100. So, like, for example, you put $10 down on that. If they go over 11 wins, you're doubling your money right there at plus 100. Also, I am higher on the Pittsburgh Steelers than Ravens, than Vegas. Plus 110 for over 8.5. I got them at 10 wins. You're right on the money with everyone. Like, you're right at the win-loss numbers, except for the Browns. And that's the question. Why the Browns? Why are you so high on the Browns? Because to me, I almost look at it and go, yes, they did good things last year. Yeah, they beat the Steelers in the playoffs.
But Baker Mayfield, didn't just beat them.
They
in the first half, they beat them down.
Them. Which I know you were happy with because you're not a big Steeler fan. But, like, why the Browns? Like, is Odell going to stay healthy? Is this team finally going to click 1, 2, 3 with all the pieces that they have?
Yeah, getting Kareem Hunt for the full year this year. Hopefully Odell Beckham stays healthy, even without him being healthy. What they did last year and winning and demolishing the Steelers in the playoff game. I'm a believer in Baker, and I'm a believer in this Pittsburgh, not the Pittsburgh team, in this Cleveland Browns team. I just believe in this offense being a high-powered machine again this year, and the defense hopefully taking another step. And Myles Garrett just being Myles Garrett, and hopefully not swinging helmets at anybody this season. I just think they're such a talented team with talent all over the roster. You could make a case for them or the Ravens in this division. I don't think the Steelers and I don't think the Bengals are in the discussion with these other two teams. I like what the Ravens have brought. J.K. Dobbins being out for the entire year scares me a little bit. The Browns are just a high-powered offensive machine, and even if a Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham or a Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt go down, they have guys who can fill in and step in. There's still a question with the Ravens receiving core a little bit, and then there's the Browns. They're just good, and obviously like injuries with Odell Beckham are always going to be a giant question mark. But even if they can get 13 to 14 games out of him this year, it's a giant win, and they improved from last year, which without him for the majority of the year, they were still a very rock solid team. So I just believe overall their offense is just so much better than everybody else's in this division that it'll bail out their defense from time to time, even though they do have an elite pass rush with guys like Myles Garrett.
And that's why, like, for me, I'm going to kind of segue and bring in the other two teams to this. You mentioned the Ravens, where I kind of half agree with something you said. The Ravens and the Browns will be teams that fight for this division. Like, the thing when I went into my win-losses, like, for example, I'm looking at the Steelers. I had the Steelers pretty much split with everyone. Ravens got a game, Bengals got a game, because the Bengals usually always steal one from them in Cincy. And then Cleveland steals a game from the Steelers. Same thing with, like, the other two. Like, I think that Baltimore and Cleveland might split. Like, if one takes two from them, that's a huge win for whichever team does. And I know someone's going, duh, Ricky, that's how football works. But the Steelers, I will say, I'm not that crazy. Like, usually I've said with like Sean or Dave, like, how do you have this team so low? That is a blasphemy. Like, the Steelers, to me, it all depends on, I put wins in these games. You might have put losses, but like, for me, their whole season comes down to 3 games, depending whether they're a 7-win team or a 10-win team. And it's like Raiders, Broncos, and Seahawks. And maybe Vikings, even though I had the Steelers beat the Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, it's those 3 games of like, can the Raiders beat them in Pittsburgh? Can the Broncos beat them in Pittsburgh? And if they were playing in Seattle, Seattle would have been a win, but I don't even know how I feel about Seattle, like, overall. They're going to be good, but how good?
Yeah, and it's not like the Steelers could win anywhere from 6 to 11 games. Honestly, they're one of there would be a couple teams that we talked about in this whole preview that are kind of wild cards that could upset a lot of things. The Steelers getting Najee Harris is huge, and as somebody in chat said, it's just my only worry with that is that he's going to have such a large workload. Yeah. He's going to have to take the load very strong. You know what I mean there, Ricky? Yeah, you see what I did there? The workload is going to be so much that he's really not going to come off the field. Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson. Where else do you get than Chase Claypool? Obviously, the offensive line is going to be horrid, like it has been for the last year, 2 years. Are they going to be able to overcome that? Is Ben going to be able to kind of shake off last year's playoff performance?
Is he going to be a shell of himself this year?
Yeah, which
like,
I don't.
Are we going to be saying like, "Oh, Big Ben, he should hang it up"?
Yeah, there's so many question marks around them that I could see them winning 10 or 11 games and being in contention for the division. But I also could see them winning 6 games and just being terrible because their secondary has large question marks. Their offensive line isn't very good. They'll have a very good pass rush, as they always do. It's just a lot of question marks. And when you look at the Ravens and you look at the Browns in this division, I think they're solidified contenders. Like, the Ravens are the Ravens and the Browns are the Browns. Like, I have faith in those two. Health, obviously, being the question mark. If they stay healthy, that they'll be the 2 contenders in this division. The Steelers are the wild card team that could throw that off, but with the amount of question marks they have, I lean the other way with the other 2 teams.
Do you think the one thing I have not asked you, and for me, this is more of a fantasy thing rather than a like Ravens success thing, because like one player in a skill position doesn't mean, like, if it's a quarterback, that's something, but like if it's a running back, like, how much will the J.K. Dobbins injury hurt the Ravens? Or will it be like a, yeah, it sucks, but like somebody will find a way to step into that hole and fill in for what he does for the team.
I think running backs are a dime a dozen in the NFL. Obviously, you probably won't get somebody with the level of production that J.K. Dobbins had last year. With how run-centric their offense is, I'm sure that they have multiple options that'll come in. And I don't really, like, yes, the Dobbins injury hurts, but I don't think it, like, derails their season or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, like, for me, the guy I would love to step up, and yet again, it's kind of asking a lot because he's a younger player. Let's say I think he's a 2-year player right now. Yeah, this would be his 3rd year in the league, is, like, Justice Hill from Oklahoma State. He was someone that I loved in the later rounds for 2019, and like I would love if he would just step it up. But yet again, I'm not saying Justice Hill is going to be J.K. Dobbins level because he's one of the elite runners and elite skill players in this league, even so young into his NFL career. I'm gonna pull an audible, Jake. Usually I said we were gonna go like the list. We're going to switch the South and the East only because chat is going off about the AFC East. Give us your records for the AFC East, and then we're going to get right into what's going on in chat.
Somebody just said Le'Veon Bell to the Ravens. Come on. No. Right. For the AFC East, I have the Bills at 15-2.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yep.
Give me 2 seconds. Fill some time here because right as you said that, I was like, oh, shit, I didn't switch him over. Switch him over. Oh, no. There you go, Jake. What are your records?
All right. I got the Bills at 15-2 in first place. In second place, the New England Patriots at 11-6. In third, I almost said ninth place because they're seated. In third place, the Miami Dolphins at 8-9. And in fourth place, the lonely New York Jets at 2-15.
Now, there's one thing that's different. I'm leaving Jake's records up there so you can see them for a little bit longer. There's only one big difference between you and I in this division. Yeah. And it's not even that big of a difference because, like, you're not disrespecting this team. I just have the Patriots with one more win. That's it. Like, I've got Patriots at 12-5. Here's the question that I will ask you later. The Bills at 12-5. Am I disrespecting the Buffalo Bills, who I am high on? I like the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen needs to hit in the NFL because I was so high on him in the draft. And everyone's like, no, he's not going to be the best quarterback from this draft class. I was like, you wait and see. He has an arm. He's going to be able to sling it in the NFL. I have the Dolphins at 7-10, which some people may say might be a slight Tua. Will he do better this year? And then the Jets, I love Zach Wilson. I love every quarterback in this division. It's just the Jets, I'm not confident that they're going to be a good team. The first thing we'll get into, though, with the AFC East is what chat has been going off about. So the few things, and this was while we were talking about the North. First off, Jamie says the amount of disrespect for the Miami Dolphins is ridiculous. I think Tua is going to take a major step. Chainsaw then comes in, says it has to be a proven year for Tua Tagovailoa, and that he thinks Tua might be the one holding Miami back. My question is then for you, Jake. For me, I think the only reason all of this chatter is starting is because the Dolphins are at a point where they're at what, to bring in Disney Plus is what if. They're at an absolute point here. They are at a crossroads. Do they stick with the young guy in Tua Tagovailoa, or they try to use him with a package to get Deshaun Watson? That's the only reason we're having this discussion is because do we bring Deshaun Watson in here and accelerate our timeline? Because let's be honest, it looks like the Patriots have accelerated their timeline with Mac Jones. Or do we keep Tua Tagovailoa?
We can say this. If you can get Deshaun Watson for a package of Tua and picks, depending on what happens with his case and his suspension and all that, absolutely have to do it. Rarely does a top 5 quarterback talent who's in his mid-20s become available for trade. And regardless of what you think of Tua, I still am a big Tua guy. I still think that Tua can thrive in Miami. The big question mark for this team this year will be how good is he how good is he right now, and how good is this pass rush? Because this pass rush has major questions about it this year. So I think I have him at 8 wins. You have him at 7. I think anywhere from 7 to 11 is reasonable for them. It just depends on Tua. I mean, Tua, the offensive line holding up, and the defensive line creating pressure. That is about it. Their secondary is going to be good as it usually is. Their running game, with Gaskin being his main running back, maybe a little bit of a question, but I spoke about Jalen Waddle being the best wide receiver in this draft class, and I stand by it. It seems that his injury was
chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa,
and his injury was deemed minor. I think he'll be ready to go week 1. So I love Jalen Waddle. I think it was a home run pick for them, and hopefully if Tua can, 1, stay healthy, and 2, I guess, mesh with the offense, because it seemed like the offense coordinator last year had a couple was kind of like what is kind of was kind of coddling Tua with the play calls. So if Tua can expand the playbook this year and get Jalen Waddle more involved, which I think he's just an absolute stud, I could see him winning 9-10 games. Just that 8 mark is right where I had him at.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for me, and this kind of, we're bringing in then the other teams for this, is there's a few things, like I said, that kind of play into this. Is one, do you want Deshaun Watson? Do you want Tua Tagovailoa? Because there's an argument to be said both ways. The argument for Tua is don't let what's happening with the Patriots and Bills affect what's going on. This team, like we talk about it, whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NBA, teams have timelines. And sometimes there's points towards like, okay, we need to accelerate a timeline quicker than we thought we would. You always got to adapt that way. Is this the time to accelerate the timeline with a Deshaun Watson, or do you stay the point? The other side is, because of the fact of what's going on, the Bills were so good last year. They're going to be good this year. Even if they're 12-5, like I said, they're going to be good. They could either be like 12-5, 15-2, kind of good in their conference this year. The big one is the Patriots. Are the Patriots going to be the team that affects what the Dolphins do or how they're thinking? Because let's be honest, the Patriots were already going to be a better team than they were last year, solely on the fact that most of their guys did not play last year because they were like, I'm not going to play, opting out via COVID. Like, they had half their defense say, no, I'm not playing via COVID. They're going to be back. And like, the one video I watch on Twitter, Boston Connor, the Pat McAfee crew, and of course, grain of salt because he's a Pats guy. He does a beautiful segment on Twitter called Bath Talk, where he just talks to you while he's taking a bath. And he was being all a little trolly, like, how did the NFL let this happen and let Mac Jones fall all the way to us? And this team was 7-2, like, this team was bad last year, and they were only a 7-win team. Like, only 7 wins, when most teams, when they fall down, they go way past 7 when they don't have their Hall of Fame quarterback who won X amount of Super Bowls with them. Like, is Mac Jones going to be the second coming of Jesus Christ? I don't know. Is it worth throwing a bet on him to win Rookie of the Year? I think so. It's either going to be him or Trevor that wins it. That's going to be the big thing. If Mac Jones comes in, leads the Patriots to an 11, 12, 13-plus win season, then the Dolphins are going to say, shit, we got to do something because we got to keep up with them because we can't be behind the 8 ball against the Bills and the Pats.
Well, I don't even think that trading for Deshaun Watson really has to accelerate any timeline. Tua Tagovailoa is 23 and Deshaun Watson is 25. Like,
well, it makes them better right now is what that
but he also doesn't accelerate the timeline because you still have the longevity of Deshaun Watson depending on outside. Hashtag on the field, you get a top 5 quarterback. So, the Patriots, I was very clear on my thoughts of Mac Jones during the draft. I think that he's a good quarterback, and he'll be a quarterback for a long time. I don't know if the upside is there that the other guys were. Like when we were talking about a Fields, a Lance, a Wilson, and obviously a Lawrence. I think Mac Jones is a very safe pick. I don't know, like, he will stabilize their offense, which is what they needed because Cam was all over the place last year. I don't think, like, I've made my thoughts very clear on Cam in the past, is that I think Cam had a very good season, obviously, the year they went to the Super Bowl. Besides that, somewhat average, and especially the last couple of years of being a quarterback, he's just been average. So getting a guy like Mac Jones who will be less mistake-prone than Cam Newton, is probably more coachable than Cam Newton at this point, I think is a big thing for the Patriots, and obviously cutting Cam Newton showed that because Cam wasn't going to be a backup. So the Patriots are interesting. Again, like you said, half their defense was basically out last year because they opted out because of COVID. I expect their defense to be elite once again. Stephon Gilmore is out for the first 6 games, I believe, so that's going to be an interesting thing to see how their corners kind of, I guess, hold it together for the first 6 games. But besides that, I mean, there is a solid team. They're the Patriots. I mean, they're Bill Belichick's Patriots. They're going to be solid. I think a quarterback like Mac Jones definitely is better for Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. I think he fits their system better, is more coachable.
Yeah.
And I think he makes them better at 11 wins. I still think the Bills are going to run away with this division just because how good they are. Now, there is going to be a question mark about the Bills. Is Josh Allen, is he going to repeat his last season, or is he going to fall into what he was in the past seasons before last season?
He's got he's got Stephon Diggs. That offense is going to cook.
Yeah, I would agree. The running game is a big question mark for them. We'll see how that pans out. Besides that, the Bills are the Bills. Like, they're the same team they were last year, basically. If they can stay healthy, they'll be elite once again.
Yeah. Couple things. G American says Bill's going to win the division. Jamie says the allegations for Deshaun Watson makes him hesitant.
Yeah, that's fair.
We got Spider in the chat with the hot take that the Dolphins are going to beat the Bills for second place because Tua does well and the Bills defense doesn't bounce back like it did in 2019. And he says the Pats win the division. And then Chainsaw saying Deshaun Watson is better than Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that's it. He's better. You get a
but he has 22 sexual assault cases against him. So I mean, like,
how long is he going to be playing football, or will those just get brushed under the cup?
He's got to get suspended at some point. But the big thing is like,
or does he? It's Roger Goodell. We don't know. Roger Goodell.
No, the Saints are waiting. The Saints are waiting to see if Marshawn Lattimore gets like suspended. Like, we just don't know. Like, the NFL doesn't leak that information.
Hates the Saints.
Yeah, we know that.
He don't hate the Dolphins. What have the Dolphins done to him?
Yeah,
if he gets traded to the Dolphins.
There's a reason that Goodell doesn't come to New Orleans anymore. He might not make it out.
Let's move on. The division we were going to go to next. The AFC South. What do you got, Jake?
Yeah, the AFC South, I have the Titans going 12-5. The Colts and Jaguars going 3-14, and the Houston Texans going 2-15. Before anybody freaks out about my Colts record, I'll explain. I have an agenda, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, Jake is to quote Boxy. And that might be an old reference for some of you.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know? Am I that old? She's the one with the video of the "I'm just trolling." You don't remember that? That was like, oh man, I can't be that old.
I think you're that old.
Oh man, I just got hit with the I got old. Do I have to pull up this video live on stream for us to play and get copyright strike?
Just go that.
You know, fuck it. It's probably so old we wouldn't even get copyright strike. But mine. I've got the same order, but I'm a little bit more honest about the Colts. I've got the Titans at 12-5. They're going to be a good team like they were last year. You got the Colts 10-7. They have Carson Wentz, should be a better team. And then Jacksonville and the Texans down there at the bottom. Jacksonville, I hope they're like a better team than they were, but it might not be reflected win-loss wise. And then the Texans, yeah, they're going to have to deal with the Deshaun Watson stuff. And I don't like... They won X amount of games. Like, they won less games with Deshaun Watson last year, so they'll only win 2 this year. They're not going to be a good football team with all the drama they have to go through. But, Jake, I do have to ask you. You were trolling.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the Colts, should Colts fans realistically be hyped up that they can compete with the Titans because they have Carson Wentz?
No. Just Carson Wentz is a bum. Carson Wentz gets hurt. Carson Wentz is a fraud. What else do I have to say?
Let me guess. Carson Wentz gets injured. LOL.
I don't know. They might even be better off if he plays because he's just not a good quarterback. So I mean, even like Pat McAfee before he got traded there. Remember that how awkward that interview was when Carson Wentz came into the studio? Pat McAfee was like, "Well, I didn't want you, but like now that you're here, now we support you, man." The Colts will probably
Pat McAfee
win.
was totally a fan in that situation of like,
oh yeah,
every fan. Well, I didn't want you, but now that you're one of us, I have to cheer for you.
Yeah, it's like the Colts will probably win 8 to 9 games would be my actual assumption, but I put them with 3 wins because I hate Carson Wentz. Their defense is so good though. Their defensive line is probably the best, if at worst top 3 in the entire NFL. Their offensive line's great. Jonathan Taylor's a stud. It's just I'm never gonna predict well for Carson Wentz because he's a bum. That's about it.
See, I need Carson Wentz to do well. The only reason I need him to do well is the debate between Sean and I, where he said Jared Goff will be a better quarterback and Carson Wentz.
Terrible. They're both terrible.
Go back the rookie year we did the predictions. He held up the laptop and showed a picture of Carson Wentz holding a clipboard, and he used to call him Clipboard Carson.
Well, they're both terrible, so I mean, I can't. Clipboard Carson's a good one.
I mean, Jared Goff now plays for the Lions. Like, his career took a downward spiral.
You know what though? You know what
at
though?
least Carson Wentz plays for the Colts.
You know what though? He got that contract before he got traded.
Yeah,
he's sitting in that money, baby.
Yeah, he did. But now he's in cold Detroit.
Wentz had MVP caliber seasons before though. Yeah, he had 7 or 8 games where he played.
He's good. He did.
Now he's terrible.
Healthy?
No, now he's terrible. He had like 7.
Needs, like ever since so. That's the thing where I'm a Carson Wentz defender, to where the turning point in Carson Wentz's career was that knee injury against the Rams. Since then,
Jamie said it right. Jamie said it right. Carson Wentz going to win MVP now because this is like I've singled him out as my guy that I hate. So now he's going to win MVP.
Let me see. What would you put the odds on for Carson Wentz to
Plus
win?
1 million congillion tillion.
Okay, that was a dumb question.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do?
Matthew Stafford's at plus 1,700. Carson Wentz is plus 4,000.
It's such terrible odds. I would
plus 4,000 means if you put $10 on it, you're winning 400 right there. I think that's worth a $5, right? A $5 for.
Are you gonna put a spite $5 on it so that if he wins, you could be like, "Hey Jake,
I just put a spite $5 on it.
I hope you're glad.
I threw a fin at it.
I hope you're glad to lose $5. Yeah,
I will say though, I was thinking about this yesterday, and we were talking about the AFC East. Now that I have a disposable income, I am gonna throw my biggest bet at a future ever for the NFL season. I am going to put $100 on Mac Jones to win Rookie of the Year.
Why?
That's $1,000, bro, when he wins.
He's not going to win Rookie of the Year.
Haters going to hate my guy. Haters going to hate Mac Jones. But yeah, Carson Wentz, like, I think he'll do better. The question is, will he be healthy? Will he be healthy and I win back my $5, or will he not be healthy?
He might.
And,
Listen. He could win MVP and win a Super Bowl. I'm still going to sit here and call him a bum. So I just, it is what it is. It's just not Carson Wentz. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You know what? I have to take that. Can I cash that out? I can totally cash that out. You want to know why I'm going to cash that out?
He's going to get hurt?
No, because later on I'm going to make a prediction of the person who I think is going to win MVP, and I can't be betting for 2 different people. So I just took my $5 back, Jake. Spite bet taken back.
And also Wentz won't get vaccinated, so who knows if he's going to miss 2 games or something like that.
You can't support him then, right? I can't even support my own quarterback.
Can't even support your quarterback because you did that. I know you can't even support.
Should Carson Wentz put plexiglass around him, by the way?
Get plexiglass.
Plexiglass around him. So
we're going to do... I love it. I still love the Kirk quote. We're going to do everything we possible. So get vaccinated.
Yeah.
No, not that.
Yeah, but point aside... Colts should be better, I would think. Like, the whole thing is Carson Wentz's injury. This division to me is just like, I don't want to say this is boring from a prediction standpoint, but it is because the Titans are just going to be good. Like, what do you expect from the Titans? Oh, same thing I expected last year. The only question is, Titans conversation changes when we get to the playoff discussion.
Yeah.
Like, that's where there's, and then like Texans are going to be bad. The only thing is I guess I'll ask about this division is, what are your expectations of the Jaguars? Because should the Jaguars hope for a set amount of wins? Because for me, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, you may look better, but have the same amount of wins you had last year.
Yeah, Jaguars offensive line's horrendous.
Also, are you an Urban Meyer fan or no fan of him in Jacksonville? That's what I thought. I thought you were Urban Meyer hater.
As soon as he starts losing, he's going to complain about his back problems again. So, I mean, it's just, I'm not a fan. Urban Meyer, I think they'll be all right, but, like, how horrible their offense, what?
He's got ticker problems, too.
Oh,
that's why he stepped away, the ticker problems.
It's just, like, Trevor Lawrence is amazing. The offensive line's horrendous, and then the rest of the team is just a giant question mark. So, I'm just not high on them.
Let me switch it up really quick. We will finish off the AFC then with the West. What are your West predictions, Jake?
AFC West, I have the Kansas City Chiefs going 15-2. The Los Angeles Chargers. I'm still saying San Diego.
San Diego.
The Los Angeles Chargers going 8-8. The Las Vegas Raiders. I just did it with both teams. Las Vegas Raiders going 5-11, and the Denver Broncos going 3-14.
Yeah, so with this division, with mine, like, it's similar but I think the only things we had mixed up, were technically like 2 teams switched, because I've got the Chiefs at 14-3, and then the rest of the division, not in the playoffs, all at 9-8, Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. Because, like, here's the question I have about this division. The no question is that, Chiefs are gonna win the division. Chiefs are gonna be the best team. That's gonna be fine. My question is, with all the other ones, what do you expect? Like, Justin Herbert and that team, Air Bear, do they make a bigger step? Teddy, I think the team that I expect to make the biggest step in this division, or that I want to make the biggest step, are the Broncos. You got a better quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. There's a lot of Teddy haters out there. I am still a Teddy stan. I love Teddy stan till the day I die. Yeah,
always a
Saint, former Viking. Let's go.
I like Teddy. The team's just not good enough.
They have a better quarterback than Paxton Lynch.
The team's still just not good enough, though.
But here's the thing. Last year, they were missing their best 2 edge rushers.
Yeah.
Don't quote me if I'm wrong. Correct me. I believe Bradley Chubb missed time, and Von Miller was out for all of last year. Yeah. You get those 2 guys back, this team's got to be better with a better quarterback and pass rushing, right? Not playoffs better, but better.
They could win anywhere from 3 to 8 games. They're like a 5-game range, I think. I just have a 3-14 because honestly, I don't even have an answer for it. I just don't think they're good enough. I like Teddy a lot. Teddy's a great guy. I have a worry that he'll struggle in the first couple weeks, and then Mr. Bum Drew Lock will come into the game and try to take over at quarterback. It's just like
I like Drew Lock too, but like
he lost a quarterback competition to Teddy Bridgewater.
But Teddy's good. That's the thing.
Teddy's all right. I like Teddy as a person. I love Teddy as a person. As a quarterback, he's all right. I think Sean Payton made him look way better than he was. He went to Carolina, and that absolutely just catastrophically failed.
See, I'm like, and you say like the Broncos will struggle. My only question with their early schedule is like Giants week 1 in New York, but like then they've got Jacksonville and the Jets. Like, I feel like this team should be 2-1.
That is one of the games that the Jets can win, though. That is one of the games the Jets can win.
But it's in Mile High. Zach Wilson going into Mile High for like the one thing I will say about Mile High is, if you haven't dealt with it consistently, and you might say that that's not even a good argument because he played ball at BYU, which is like the mountainous area. So like he might even be used to the altitude thing. But like I say, the altitude thing when you're a quarterback, your first time,
it flies.
New. That's new.
It flies. I forget who it was. I was listening to somebody talk about it. They say it adds like 4 to 5 yards on the throw. Like. If you're throwing, I think it was Jay Cutler, actually. I was listening to, I think a couple of days ago, I was listening to when he was on Pardon My Take like a year ago.
Yeah.
And he was like, him and Brandon Marshall would always have throwing contests.
So Zach Wilson's going to have bombs in that game?
I was going to throw the ball like 75 yards. It was all the way down. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Denver is just a giant. Again, they are one of the teams we talked about it earlier in the early division. They are a giant question mark. Could they win 3 games? Yeah. Could they win 9 games? Yeah. It's so hard to predict with them because their quarterback play is going to be so inconsistent, and I feel like they're going to have multiple starters throughout the year.
Okay. Like, I feel about, like, I'll be honest, all of these teams, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Broncos, I just don't know what to expect from them. Because, like,
exactly.
There's also, like, for example, I look at the Broncos schedule. I have wins over the football team, which I'm assuming you don't have. I have a win over the Bengals, which you might not have. I have a win over the Lions, which I guess everyone has.
I think this is honestly the hardest division to pick. Because, like, you could honestly, outside of the Chiefs are going to win the division. The second through fourth place, you could probably make any order, and I would be like, I could see it. I might not agree with it, but I could see it. Like, if you think the Chargers aren't going to take as big of a step, like winning 9 games like I do, like I think Austin Eckler is going to have a huge year for them. And you think the Raiders are going to be there, or you even think the Broncos are going to win there and win 9 games. I could see it. It's literally like the Chiefs and then whatever you think for 2 through 4, and you can make a case for it.
One question I'm going to ask Jamie in YouTube chat. When you say one issue with that Ricky, he'll be eating grass all day. Are you talking about Zach Wilson? Right? You're talking about Zach Wilson eating grass? Yeah. Like,
that's why we have at 2 wins, Jamie. That's why we have him at 2-15.
Like, that's my thing though. Like with the Broncos, of why I think they'll at least be 9 wins or in that area is because, like, they're getting their pass rush back. Like, like, the two
that's
most
huge.
important things to a team is quarterback and pass rush. They got better in both those spots. Are they a playoff team? Probably not, but they should be better. And, like, I mean, there's a part of me that thinks, and I'll ask you, am I too high on the Chargers at 9-8?
No, I have been 9-8.
Yeah, I know. Then are we both too high on the Chargers, or is that
then
right
we both
around
be
where
shadow
they should be?
I think they should be right there. I think they take another jump with Justin Herbert.
What do you think Vegas has them at? What do you think the overall?
Probably 8. Probably 8. That'd be my assumption.
Well, you talk.
I still think with guys like Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen with Justin Herbert, hopefully an improved offensive line. And why can't I think of the guy's name they took in the second round? Junior secondary. Why can't I think of his name right now?
I'm looking.
I wanted the Saints to take him so bad.
Up their depth chart.
I wanted the Saints to take him so bad,
You said
but it
secondary?
didn't. Asante Samuel Jr. Isn't that what it is?
Could be. Yeah, Asante Samuel Jr.
Asante Samuel Jr. I think he's a stud, and they got him in the second round, which is so good. I just think this team improves. I think they take one of those next steps. I think Herbert really truly is a quarterback who could be elite for a long time. Now, I mean, again, this whole division's a question mark outside of the Chiefs, but I think they are they're a stacked team.
So Denver, their over/under is over/under 8.5.
I'm under that.
So, like, if you agree with Jake, hammer that down because that's plus 100 on the under. Wow. I think that's too close to call. I wouldn't take that bet at all.
Fair.
The Chiefs are plus money on the over, which both of us would take. 12.5. It's plus
over.
120. Then you have Las Vegas. They're minus 110 on both, over under 7 wins, which I'm over, you're under. So I probably wouldn't take that one. And then the Chargers are plus money at 110 on the over 9.5. I wouldn't touch that. I wouldn't touch it. Like most of these, I'd be like, except for the Chiefs. If you really think the Chiefs, like we do, are going to be like both of us had I had 14 wins, you had 15, to where it's like, that's the only difference. Is that, and then like the Raiders. Do you think any positives from the Raiders season? Because like
Darren Waller is
another
a fucking
team
animal.
where like I don't know what to think of the Rangers.
Darren Waller is a baller. I think Henry Ruggs has a chance to kind of take some reps, take that next step. I still like Josh Jacobs. Like, I like a lot of their players. I just don't know how much faith I have in Derek Carr.
Yeah, I like Derek
and
Carr.
Gruden. I don't dislike Derek Carr. He's just a question mark to me. Like, I just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, for me, it sucks because I like John Gruden. I like John Gruden. I like Derek Carr. The person that I don't like with the Raiders is the guy making their picks who got COVID, Mike Mayock. Like, I thought when he was with NFL Network that he was the biggest goof and the biggest idiot when it came to the draft. And then I was like, the Raiders put him in charge. Give me half of what he makes, and I'll make better picks.
Give me like a tenth of what he makes. Give me $100,000 a year.
Like, give me enough just to live kind of comfortably, and I'll do better than he does, and I'll save you money. And then Jamie says, "I'm sorry, Chucky is the most overrated coach of all time." Chucky, is that Gruden? Is that who Chucky is, or is he talking about the Chargers? I don't know what that is. That kind of threw me off. But Jake, we're done with the AFC. We go to the most interesting division. Only second time I've said it. The most interesting division in football in my mind, the NFC North. What are your predictions?
For the NFC, North?
NFC North.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it was cut off on my screen. NFC North. I have the Packers going 13-4. The Bears going 10-7. The Vikings going 5-12, and Captain Kirk getting kicked out of Minnesota, and the Lions going 1-16. Listen, I tried to find them wins. It's impossible.
So I'm gonna teach you a little bit of pronunciation right now, Jake. While you're the only one on the screen, we're gonna teach you how to do a proper da Bears. It's not duh. It's not duh. It's da. That DAH. Da Bears. Yeah. Da Bears. That's how you gotta do it. Me and you aren't that different. The only difference is I have the Bears at a lower record, and we'll get into that first. Of like, the Packers are going to be a great team, 14-3. The Bears might not be as good as everyone thinks they are, but I will get into why I have them at 5-12. The Vikings might not be as good as they should be. 5-12.
That was John Gruden's nickname, by the way.
Just what? Chuck. Okay, that's,
I
thought it was Chucky. But then you've got the Lions, where the only reason I have them at 2-15 is I had them at 1-16, and I went, I gotta find them one more win. I'm like, I can't have them. At first, I'm like, ooh, I can't have them 0-16. Then I'm like,
Spencer Rattler,
find them one more.
Step up. Spencer Rattler, step up. You're a Detroit Lion.
I'm like, I gotta find them one more. The first team I guess we'll go into, because the comment section's probably fuming, is the Bears. And the reason why we're going with the Bears first is...
you are so low on them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's my reasoning, and then tell me if you disagree, to where...
I disagree.
I will ask you this. When does Justin Fields start?
Week 3.
Do you think... Okay, see, you think week 3? I'm kind of looking at that and going, okay, even week 3, and I may change games here just to see, like... You look at the first games, just in the first 3. The Rams beat them if Andy Dalton is starting.
Yeah. I don't think I agree. Wait, yes I do. Yes I do.
Andy Dalton is starting, the Rams beat them in LA.
When you said the Rams, for some reason the Lions popped into my head because I thought of Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
Matt Stafford beats them if Andy Dalton starts.
Yes.
This may be a hot take, but I think it's true. If Andy Dalton starts, I think Joe Burrow shows up Andy Dalton in Chicago. That might be one where someone goes, Ricky, you're high, but I'll take it as a hot take. I'm going with the Bengals beating up their old. I
think with how much we want Justin Fields to start, the Andy Dalton disrespect has gone a little bit too far.
And then even that, week 3, the Browns on the road, 1-3 at the most with Andy Dalton. Yeah. I'm sorry, 1-3 at the most. And then even that, let's say
I had him at 1. I had him at 2-2.
Yeah, let's say Justin Fields starts week 4. Justin Fields can beat the Lions. Hey, Andy Dalton can also beat the Lions. Let's say 2-2. I have them with the that could be the same start, but I had won them because of the Bengal game. To me, I went the other way, 1-3. Then okay, the Raiders. I had it as a loss. Even let's say you say Justin Fields wins that game. Okay, flip it. So you know. But then even after that, I think the Packers beat the Bears. I think the Bucks beat the Bears. Yes. I'm a little higher on the 49ers than most people. No. I think the 49ers can beat the Bears. And even if we're lower on the Steelers, I think the Steelers in Pittsburgh could beat a rookie quarterback.
I think Justin Fields walks in there and lights shit up.
Even if they beat the Steelers, all right, they're at 7, but look at the rest of their after the bye week. Baltimore's a good team. You've got the Packers, I think, beat them twice, and they play the Packers. I had the Bears.
Half. I had the Bears taking one of the games with the Packers, so that's where we differ. Is the
Packers. The Packers, I will get into them in a second. I think they are going to have a fuck you season this year.
They could
because of last year. We're I look at the second half where Justin Fields will win games. They'll beat the Lions. They'll beat the Cardinals. The Viking fan in me has them splitting, even though they may beat us twice. They'll beat the Giants, but the losses I see in the second half are the Ravens, the Packers on the road, and then Seattle. Asking Justin Fields to come into Seattle, just going into Seattle is a hard place to play.
Yes, I agree.
The reason I had them, though, at the bad 5-12 is because I asked myself, even if they pulled the trigger early on Justin Fields, when do they pull that trigger, and how successful will Justin Fields be in a tougher first half of the schedule than a second half? Before the bye is a lot harder than after the bye for the Bears.
I agree. I don't disagree with your points. Justin Fields is just my guy, and I think he starts pretty on early in the season, and I think he's just going to be a stud for them. I talked about it all draft, is that I think I thought it was more of a conversation between Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields, and I think that it was that scenario where we're sitting there at the draft, and I'm like, this team has to take Justin Fields. This team has to take Justin Fields. And I think the Bears finally made a very smart move in trading up and getting him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, once they struggle out the gates, Nagy and Pace, they're going to be saving their jobs. And the guy that's going to save their jobs is Justin Fields. So I think he starts pretty early on, especially against the Giants. I think he gives you a big fuck you game because the Giants traded out and didn't take him. I think he's just going to light it up. And I mean, 10-7 is a pretty high end for me for them. They could win 6 of 10 games is what I think. And I love this offense with Justin Fields, and I love Allen Robinson still being there and David Montgomery being healthy and hopefully an improved offensive line. I love Justin Fields on this team.
And that kind of leads me into the Packers, though, because like Jamie says, assuming you're thinking the Packers and Aaron saved the marriage, I don't think they saved the marriage.
No, man.
I just think Aaron Rodgers had a fuck you season last year, won the MVP. He's going to have another fuck you season. Like, they added back in, who was it? Randall Cobb. Another guy he's comfortable with. To where this Packer team during the regular season at least, is Aaron Rodgers is going to just be throwing these up. Just throwing up the FUs all around to every team based off of how last season ended. Like, we talk about Jordan's last dance. Like, I think this is going to be a season, maybe not story. Hell, maybe even story-wise. Maybe this turns into a season of, like, Aaron's last year in Green Bay, and it ends, like, the same way The Last Dance does, and we get a documentary for it one day about how Aaron's time in Green Bay really ended. I just am so, like, it pains me to say, being a Vikings fan, I just think the Packers are going to have a good season because of one man and one man alone, Aaron Rodgers. He will will this team to victories, and they may even win the Super Bowl because of it.
That's fair. We'll get into Super Bowl predictions later with it, but I think
I'm keeping it open.
Even with them not having to make it up, he didn't want to be there last year, and he still just had a fuck you MVP season. So it's like Aaron Rodgers is great. He's top 10 quarterback of all time. Like he's just great. And him and Devontae Adams know that they're going there for one last dance and to ball out one more time. So I think they're way better than any other team in this division. I think they dominated once again.
Do you think it's crazy if someone put $100 bet on Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP?
No.
Would you do it? He's got the second best odds at plus 1,000.
I mean, yeah, the other odds are Mahomes, I assume.
Mahomes is plus 500. Everyone
those
else
would be the only two guys. Yeah, those would be the only two guys.
Like, how the odds are is Mahomes is plus 5. Aaron Rodgers is plus 1,000 or 1,000. You got Brady plus 1,200. Josh Allen plus 1,300. Dak plus 1,700. And Lamar plus 1,700. Those are the top guys before you have to do all. I just think the Packers are going to be... Like, they're going to run roughshod through this division, and they're just going to be the best, if not one of the best teams in the NFC this year. Like, the Vikings, to me, yet again, even as a Vikings fan, I do this. Because, like, this team could be a middle-of-the-pack, like, 9-8 team at best, or we could be where I have them, 5-12. Like, am I expecting a good season? No. All I'm expecting is Justin Jefferson to ball out in the wide receiver position, and Dalvin Cook to get fantasy points each and every week from the running back position when he's not hurt, because he's been a little bit of an injury-prone running back in his career. Like, the Vikings, I do this, and I think the bigger question, the more interesting conversation is, what should the expectations be for DCMC in the Motor City? Dan Campbell MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just changing the mindset with the team, because I'm not sure there's much else you could do with that team this year. I really do like DeAndre
season, baby.
It is. I really do like DeAndre Swift. I think he has somewhat of a big year, but besides that, the team basically needs an entire rebuild, and hopefully they allow him the time to do that, because he's just electric. And when he brings the energy there, he is electric, and I hope he actually succeeds, because he was with us in New Orleans for a while, so he's the man. I hope he gets time to help rebuild that team, and obviously, hopefully Jared Goff doesn't screw him over too bad, but you kind of want to be terrible so you can go and get that quarterback this year, even though I'm not really high on a lot of the quarterbacks this year, so we'll see.
If you could, Jake, I know you're on the outside looking in. I know you might not have it for me. if you had to give me a little bit of hope for the Viking season, what would you say? Is there anything you could say to give me even a sliver of hope for this year?
I hope Kirk Cousins goes down and Kellen Mond gets to play because Kellen Mond's better than Kirk Cousins.
I don't want to wish injuries on anyone, but I would really like to see Kellen Mond play.
Yep.
Also, the Lions win losses. Do you want to know the over-under spot for their wins losses?
What?
Over under 5. And the plus money is on the over.
Okay.
You're not winning money there, but you're not winning much if it's under 5 too, because it's minus 120. Okay. So like, it's going to be yet again interesting to see what this streak does. That's the third or fourth time I've said it. I'm losing track right now.
You will be saying it a lot.
The NFC South. What do you got?
In the NFC South.
Your division now.
My division. The NFC South, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 16-1, the Saints going 11-6, the Falcons going 7-10, and the Panthers going 3-14.
There's going to be some people thinking that we're high. Basically, because
they
of the
always
Bucs,
do.
Because we're in dead agreement. Like the Bucs, they're at the top 16-1. The Saints, there's a part of me that was like, oh, I forgot Jameis Winston was their quarterback. But like,
we love Jameis.
I looked at their schedule and I was like, okay, 12 wins isn't completely out of the park. What? Basically, because you have the Falcons and Panthers in your division. I have 4-13 for the Falcons, 4-13 for the Panthers, and that's where we start, Jake. The Falcons and or Panthers. Sam Darnold is getting a redemption tour or getting a redemption shot in Carolina. The Falcons are their own story of, I'm kind of hoping Matt Ryan sucks enough to where we get to see Josh Rosen try to save his career in Atlanta.
I'm trying to find a Jameis Winston jersey that I can buy just so I can spite you right now.
What are your thoughts? Like, either of these two teams, like obviously you had the Falcons with 7 wins. My question is, why are you so much higher on the Falcons than I am? Am I too low on the Falcons?
No, I'm not. I don't think it's that you're too low on the Falcons. It's just, I still think with Matt Ryan at quarterback, they played very well with the new coaching coming in. I mean, with the old coaching going out in the middle of last year. Matt Ryan's still a good quarterback. Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley has a very big year. I think that 7 wins is about right for them because their defense still has a lot of question marks and their health and their offensive line, giant question marks. So if you have them a little bit lower than 7 wins, I don't hate it. I don't think they win more than 7 games. I still think that Matt Ryan, they still should have taken Justin Fields and shifted Matt Ryan out. But Kyle Pitts is a stud. He's going to help him right away in that offense. Oh, no. What happened?
I love No Ma'am 81. You guys are high. You guys are high. Smoking something.
If we're too high on the Bucs, then I'll take it.
He says the Saints have no receivers, which he may be right. He may be a little right on the Saints.
It's not correct at all, but yeah, I'll just let it slide.
Give me your rant on the Saints of why they're going to be so good this year.
No, it's not they're going to be so good. They can win anywhere from 6 games to 11 games. You say they have no receivers. You don't know who Marquez Callaway is, Traquan Smith is, Deontay Harris is. Deontay Harris will be suspended for the first 2 games, but the offensive line is still one of the best in the NFL. You still have Alvin Kamara. You have Adam Troutman, who at tight end, who's going to take a big jump this year. And you have Sean Payton. Like, Sean Payton just makes things happen with offenses, regardless of who his quarterback is. Defensively, really the only question mark is going to be the second cornerback, who's going to play across from Lattimore. Besides that, they're elite defensively, just like they were last year. So I don't get how people for the last 3 years have said that Drew Brees are holding this offense back. Drew Brees retires, and now they say that the team is going to fall apart. Sean Payton is Sean Payton. He is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Yeah. Jameis Winston was under Brees last year, and I'm sure is still learning from him. I'm sure they're still in communication. Alvin Kamara is on this team. Marquez Callaway, Adam Troutman, Deontay Harris, Thomas comes back in the middle of the season. I think they do struggle a little bit to start the season. I think that's fair. But once they get healthy and Michael Thomas comes back and you get Deontay Harris back after suspension, then you get Daniel Atamata back after his 6-game suspension. I just think this team is so good. It all hinges on Jameis Winston and if he can become a reliable decision maker. That is the big question for them. I have more faith in Jameis than other people do. I like Jameis even when he was on the Bucs. I think that Bruce Allen's system it asks for a lot of risk where Sean Payton's system does not. I think this team can be good. Their defense is going to be so good. Their pass rush is going to be elite. Linebackers, getting Quan Alexander back, getting and having Demario Davis, who was one of the best linebackers in football last year. I just don't see this team being that bad.
And like I was looking at the schedule just now, and like the reason why I have them at 12 wins, to be honest, I probably should have had them at 10, because like the game against the Bills, I leaned Saints. Game against the Titans, I leaned Saints. You could make the argument where I should have leaned the other way in both of those games.
Hold my shit. I'm sorry.
I saw that. The first take. Jameis is sus, and that's why, like, I don't think the Saints.
I know you did.
Like, when sus. I saw 12-5, well, I was reading Chainsaw's comment because he said Jameis is very sus, and I was like, I'm just going to reply to it as I'm talking. Like, I've never been a Jameis Winston fan. I hate Jameis Winston ever since his FSU days. I've been a Marcus Mariota guy over Jameis Winston guy since that draft. But, like, Sean Payton's a good coach. You guys have defensive pieces. You've got Alvin Kamara. Like, this team is going to be decent, I think. The only question is, do they win the game? Like, do they win games? Like, I had them over Buffalo and Tennessee. Probably should have went the other way. I will say that. But, like, all the other games I have as wins. 2 against the Panthers, 2 against the Falcons. I'm not high on the football team. I'm not high on the Giants. That's 6 right there. And then I have 7 and 8 are the Eagles and the Dolphins. And then 10 is the Jets. Like, this team could be 10 wins based off of their schedule alone.
Literally.
Like, just because of their schedule could just walk in to 10 wins. Now, Jameis Winston could fuck that up. He might fuck up a couple games. But from what I hear, he's got contacts now, man. He can actually see the receivers.
He got LASIK. Doesn't have contacts. He got LASIK.
Whatever. Something with his eyes to where it's like, God, Jameis, I know what you're trying to do, but sometimes just shut your mouth, man.
I just ordered a Jameis Winston jersey, so now we're all in.
Could I? What about the great speech from Jameis Winston? He's talking to a bunch of school kids. Can I get all the boys to stand up right now?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's just listen, I'm not talking about Jameis Winston's characteristics. I'm talking about him as a quarterback.
Decision making might not be the best sometimes.
I think,
and you kind of need that to be a quarterback.
I think Sean Payton. They are. I believe the stat is they are 12-2 without Drew Brees over the last 5 years. Jameis Winston won the game against the Niners. They went 2-1 with Taysom also last year. The year before they went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. So there is some sort of consistency that you can plug in a quarterback with Sean Payton, who is a guru on quarterbacks. I agree with that. It's not like Jameis has to throw the ball deep all the time, but guess what? The Saints have that option now, which they haven't had for 3 years, because Breeze could not do that on a consistent basis. We saw it when he threw it deep to Marquez Callaway in preseason, and he absolutely dotted it, and he caught it for a touchdown. So I think Jameis, I don't like the stigma that people have that a quarterback can't be bad and then go to a different team and succeed. When we look at Ryan Tannehill as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now, he was awful in Miami, and then they fixed him in Tennessee. Why can't that happen with other quarterbacks? I don't understand where people get this brain, like their brain is just like, oh, nope, bad. He can't improve. James is still 27. Like, he is not going to be a terrible quarterback. And even if he is, like, Jameis doesn't have to be great for this team to be great, because I think their defense is going to be great. It just, if once they get healthy with Michael Thomas back, if they can stay around 500 until Michael Thomas comes back, I just think their team, they're too good of a team. Their schedule's too easy not to win 9-10 games.
You ever say a word so much that it just becomes a sound?
Yeah, that's literally
great.
Like
like 4 times in a row. It's like it's just become a sound now to me, man. But I will say the one thing will lead us into the next division. Jamie says, Rick, you got to remember, this is the first year Fitz Magic with the football team. We'll get into maybe a little bit of why I'm low on the football team, or maybe I'm wrong, because I'm known to do that too. Last thing I want to mention for this division is we are both high on the Bucks. Maybe we're just breathing in the old Super Bowl flames that are...
I will say this. Can I say this?
Go ahead.
4 years in a row, who won the division? 4 years.
The Bucks?
No, the Saints.
The Saints. 4
years in a row they won the Saints. The Saints did the double on the Bucks last year when they won the Super Bowl, and the Saints probably should have beaten the Bucks in the playoffs last year. But Jared Cook is a fucking bum. Okay. So I'm not. I have the Bucks at 16-1. I'm not saying that I'm predicting this, but the Saints still could win this division if Jameis wasn't. Because imagine best case scenario. What?
You're like, I'm still gonna go in, man. Heavy Saints, man. Saints can win the division.
Imagine though, like, no, just picture this. Best case scenario. Imagine Jameis does ball out this season. Could they win the division?
You know what you remind me of right now? You remind me of, like, I'm the girl and you got your hand around my neck and you're just like, you're the one where he's like
the whispering in his ear where she's like, no, but we're saying are we smoking the herb on the Bucks? Mm-hmm. If the Bucks only do win 11 or 12 games, the Saints could win the division.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucks are just a good team, and like I look at their schedule, like, could the Patriots steal one from?
Where's the cliff?
Maybe.
Where's the cliff? Where's the cliff coming? He's 44. Like, where's the cliff?
Maybe there's 2 or 3 games we look at, they lose. Like, football is football. Bounce of a ball goes one way or the other. But, like,
or if Brett doesn't throw a flag.
The Bucks are going to be a good team. They're either going to be first or second, most likely first in this division. Like,
hold on. I'm being told that I'm a homer and the Saints aren't going to win 7 games. Ricky has them at 11 wins.
12. I have them
12 wins. He hates the Saints.
Yeah.
So, no. Sorry. I'm not a homer because I haven't won.
Like I said, they could, because of their schedule, the Saints could walk into 10 wins.
They could.
It's just, can they win those 10 wins?
Can they? Yeah.
Can they win those?
They can win anywhere from 6 games to 11 games. Is my prediction.
Yeah, and I mean the schedules are similar. So if the Saints are going to walk into 10 wins, how many wins could the
14
Bucks walk into? Like
14.
Like that's the thing where it's like schedules are what they are too. Where it's like
and also the Saints are going to get absolutely fucking demolished next week. Just so I'm laying that out here for everybody to know. When Aaron Rodgers comes to Jacksonville and plays them, they're going to get fucking just bulldozed. But yeah.
So okay, NFC East. As I let out some water
what was that,
burps.
My guy?
It was the water burps, man. I don't know what they come from. What's your NFC East looking like?
My NFC East. In first place, we're going to disagree on this one. I have the 13-4 Washington football team. In second place, I have the 7-9 Dallas Cowboys. In third place, the 6-11 Eagles. And in fourth place, the 4-12 New York Football Giants.
5-12.
5-12 New York Football Giants. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it has to be 5-12. Can't be 4-12 anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a little different than you. We're just gonna do this and see how it goes. Cowboys 12-5, football team 5-12, Giants 5-12, Eagles 3-14. I think we can both agree the Giants and the Eagles are not going to be good this year.
No,
I think we can agree on that. No. The Cowboys are going to be an interesting team. Can they bounce back? Like, is Dak going to bounce back this year? Does their offense bounce back this year by having him and Zeke back healthy? Are they going to be able to stay healthy? Like, this team with Dak healthy is better than what they were last year. 12 wins is probably on the high side, though. The question is the football team. And I look at it and I go, I went the other, like the way I went with the Saints, I went the other side to where it's like the games that I have losses for them. I think Buffalo beats them week 3 for sure. The Saints, I think the Saints win that game. Chiefs and Packers should not be looked at as wins for the football team. The Bucks beat the football team. And then I have the Seahawks beat the football team. Those are the for sures. The ones that are iffy that I went the other way, I had the Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos, and then both the Eagles and the Giants one time. So, like, most of my losses came, and this is like the entire NFC East. I had a lot of splitting go on here.
Yeah.
Because maybe except for like the Cowboys and the Eagles.
So that's where we disagree.
Well, this division usually beats up on each other. Like, I always give, in all of my predictions, I always give the Giants the home game against the Cowboys. Because they always play them tough in New York. Or it's usually like, I usually split them. And in real life, whatever the first game they play is, no matter where it is, those teams beat each other up. And it's like, it's like a field goal game. But like, I look at it and I just go, how much better, like Ryan Fitzpatrick, a lot of people are saying like Jamie did, like, oh, you got to remember, this is his first year. Or will this be a Ryan Fitzpatrick year where he plays a couple games and then gets benched and whoever's behind him then comes
You
up?
know who's behind him. You say it. You say it.
Go ahead.
You know who's behind him.
Say it.
Air Heineke, baby.
Hell yeah.
Air Heineke is going to come
Political
in and be a stud
aside.
for this team. He's going to be a stud for this team. I think this defensive line and even the secondary, they are the best defensive football in my mind. I think they are just unbelievable. Like, their defensive line, the amount of pressure they're going to be able to get on a quarterback, that's why they're my fantasy defense this year. Because I just think that they're tremendous in the amount of pressure they're going to create offensively. Antonio Gibson, Terry. I know that somebody said that he doesn't like Scary Terry. He likes something else. I can't remember what the other nickname is, but I think it's Terry Touchdown. That's something like that. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, and Logan Thomas.
Curtis Samuel also.
Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas. I just think they have so many options offensively with this elite defense. They're going to win so many games, and that's where we differ. I had them not losing a game in the division. Will they do that? Okay. Probably not. They'll lose a couple. But this team, they're just so much better than every other team in this division at almost every single position. They are so deep. They're talented. Their defensive line, I can't talk about it enough and how much I love Chase Young. They are just going to be so exciting to watch this year.
Yeah, and I will say this. Could I be wrong about the football team? I absolutely could. I will say, the Charger game, the Raider game, so Charger, Raider, Broncos, and then maybe the Philly game and the Giant game. That's 5 games where it's okay, those could be wins or losses. Well, in my situation, that's the difference between a 10-win team and a 5-win team. So, yet again, I also were playing with things of if I thought a team was too low, I defined wins in other places. The football team is an enigma to me, mainly because the only reason they won the division last year was because Dak Prescott's injury. Yeah. If Dak Prescott gets injured, pretty much it's safe to say the Cowboys win that division. And I know Jamie says the Cowboys will choke like they always do. They may choke like always, but that usually happens when they make the playoffs.
I have a lot of question marks with 1, their offensive line, and 2, if Dak can stay healthy. Obviously, he does not have an injury history. That's been a false narrative.
Injury last year.
Yeah, but now he has the shoulder issue this year coming in. It's just a lot of question marks with them.
And let's be honest, Washington was only a 7-win team last year.
Yeah, they weren't that good.
They were what the Seattle Seahawks were when beast mode went beast mode, Jake. Arguably shouldn't have gotten a home game against Tom Brady, right, Jake? Because they only went 7-9.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Jake's like, fuck you, man.
I literally had to watch that. I had to watch The Meaningless Miracle yesterday. I had to watch all that.
You didn't have to. You wanted to watch football moments.
Yeah, Well, I think that this division is interesting with the Cowboys and the football team. I'm just not sure. I think the football team's defense is going to be too much for most teams in this division. Okay. And especially with the Cowboys, I'm not quite sure. Their secondary has giant question marks. Their offensive line has giant question marks. Dak, is he going to stay healthy this year? Not injury history, but his shoulder and his leg now. There's a lot of question marks, and I look at Washington, I'm like, even if they get average quarterback play, it's better than what they got last year, and they improved offensively as a team. So, yeah, I just think they're elite.
Yeah, and that's the thing for me, where the 5 games I mentioned could go either way. It's just which way do they go. Cowboys, it's just can they stay healthy? And I mean, the Giants and the Eagles, I think the Eagles will be the worst team in this division by far. Even if Jalen Hurts plays good, and I want him to play good because I like Hurts, this team will probably be a top pick in the draft next year. And then the Giants, I think this is going to be where either one of 2 questions gets asked. Is Joe Judge the answer, or is Daniel Jones the answer? Eventually this might be another Giant season where people ask, something's got to change, right? I mean, Saquon coming back should help them. Yeah. But
you're still not good enough.
When your quarterback,
their offensive line is
Jones,
atrocious.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Daniel Jones hater. I think he's okay. I am, it's just sure. There's so many questions on that team. There's so much they have to do before they contend.
Yeah. The last division before we talk some playoffs is the West. Let me go through and really quick get yours all set up for you, Jake, so you have your graphic for when you talk.
Oh yeah, this is if anybody didn't know why there were so many bad records in previous divisions, this is why.
What's your NFC West?
My NFC West, I have the LA Rams at 13-4, the Arizona Cardinals at 13-4, the 49ers at 12-5, and the Seattle Seahawks. What did I say there? Seattle Seahawks also at 12-5.
Yeah, I think we agree on one thing. So for me, you got the Rams at 13-4. You got the Seahawks at 12-5. We got the Niners at 12-5. Cardinals at 7-10. We can agree on one thing, Jake. This might just be the best division in football. Like, this may be the most talented division in all of football, head to toe. The only difference is you have a bias towards Kyler Murray.
My guy.
I don't.
My guy.
I personally do not like Kyler Murray because he took a job away from Josh Rosen. And the only reason this is kind of a minor...
Get over it.
The only reason this is a minor beef is because Brandon keeps trying to tell me Josh Rosen is bad, which, let's be honest, he did need some work in the NFL. But Josh Rosen has never gotten the chance to be successful at any point. And Jamie's going, Jesus, like, oh, Jesus, we got to hear Ricky go on this rant yet again. Yet again we have to go and hear him go on this rant. But, like, this is a division that I think will have pick 3 teams from this division. 3 of them will be in the playoffs.
I agree. Might even be 4. I just know they're just...
Do you have all 4 of them in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Do you? You do. How did you get that to work? You have all 4 of them in the play. Well, you have to. They're all 12-win teams.
They're all 12-win teams. They have to be in the playoffs.
How does that work?
They are.
This may be an MVP elite. First, by the way.
All teams in a division in the playoffs?
Well, not just that all teams are 12 or over in like 12 wins or more.
I mean, it's not a delusional thing. They easily could do it. The Cardinals are really the only question mark with them if they're going to do it or not. I'm such a big believer in Kyler Murray, adding J.J. Watt, adding A.J. Green, having DeAndre Hopkins. Whatever happens with Larry Fitzgerald, we don't know.
You make good points, by the way. Like, you're listing these points, and I was like, oh, he do have a point.
They're just like, and I think Kyler takes another step. I think Kyler Murray's an elite quarterback, and I think he's such a good player. And if you get past your Josh Rosen little bias, because Josh Rosen is a bad quarterback, and Kyler Murray is elite.
I don't hate Kyler Murray. I just like... It's the whole thing of where it's like, I should say I hate the Cardinals, and I don't like the Cardinals for how they did Josh Rosen dirty.
There you go.
But I understand it. You had Kyler Murray.
And Cliff is really the only question with this team is how good is the coaching going to be? Is it going to be consistent? Because some of their play calling last year was a little bit questionable. So every team in this division is so good that they easily could all make the playoffs. Obviously, it probably won't shake out that way. It's just, man, are they talented, like head to toe, like you said. It's just unreal.
I think the only 2 question marks in this division are the Cardinals, but I'm also going to say the Seahawks, where there's a part of me that says the Seahawks may be too high at 12-5. Might be a little lower than that. Like, this team isn't the Legion of Boom team, but as long as you have Russell Wilson, you're going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot. And, like, Cardinals, you said it, question mark. I don't have to harp on that. Like, the Seahawks will be a question mark because of what I just said. The Rams should be better because that defense is good. They still have, like, the only question is, can their offense stay healthy? Because now you have arguably a better quarterback than you have, or than you had. Matthew Stafford is better. Now it's really like, if the Rams don't do well this year, then we know if Matthew Stafford is not good or not. Like, for years, it's been, Matthew Stafford is wasting. Dave and I have said it too.
It's like everything.
He's been wasting his time away in Detroit, and they're wasting years. Now it's time to put up or shut up.
It is it. They need to be a top 3 offense this year. I'll wait for you to plug your back. They need to be a top 3 offense this year. They need to be Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Matt Stafford, Darrell Henderson. Like, they need, and Higbee. Like, they just need to be top 3, top 5 or worse.
And I know he's a rookie, but, like, on the Niners side, even if they go Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't do that to me. Wait. Even if they go Garoppolo and either Garoppolo gets injured or midseason they switch, like, this is a team that I think if Garoppolo starts week 1 and then gets injured again, you finally have the answer of, like, last year we missed out on our quarterback. Now if Garoppolo gets injured, you throw Trey Lance in there and you pick up right where you left off.
You should just start Trey Lance week 1 if we're being honest. He's so much better than Jimmy.
Give him the Patrick Mahomes treatment. You give him 1 year behind Jimmy Garoppolo, then you trade Jimmy Garoppolo like you traded Alex Smith.
Start him right away. Unless you want Jimmy to teach him how to get in bed with porn stars, you get him in right away, and you start Trey Lance.
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's just funny. It's the only thing he's gonna mentor him. Yeah, you just start him. He's so good.
Yeah, but like I say that the AFC South was boring. This conversation is just like, yeah, they're all gonna be good.
They're all good.
They're all gonna be good.
Like, I think they'll all be in the playoffs. It'll be a dogfight to see who gets the top spot. Besides that, they're just good.
Do I have any bad loss? Like, the losses I have for the Cardinals, I'll list them off, and you just cut me off when the first one you disagree with. Ready?
Yeah.
Titans week 1. Rams.
Hold on. Let me pull up exactly what I have so that I can tell you.
Titans week 1.
Okay, I agree with that.
Rams week 4.
Yep, agree with that.
Browns week 6.
Disagree with that.
Okay. Packers week 8.
Disagree with that.
Niners week 9.
I agree.
Seahawks week 11.
I agree.
Bears week 13.
Disagree.
Rams week 14.
Disagree.
Colts week 16.
Agree. No, disagree. Yeah. Way disagree. Jesus.
And then Cowboys week 17.
Nah, largely disagree with that.
So, like, okay, now we found where, like, for me, I had the Rams beat them twice. Yeah. And then I had, like, the Bears because Justin Fields would be starting and it's in Chicago. Packers, I think, are better than them. Browns, I think, are better than them. Colts, I think, are better than them. Like, that's where that, like, really the only one I would change is the Cowboys. Because, like, I had them split against the Niners, and I do think they split. So, like, maybe I moved the Cardinals up to an 8-win team. Maybe. But,
okay,
like,
I agree.
They're not going to be a bad team. They're not going to be, like, a 3-win team this year. This is what we're going to do now, Jake. We are going to move into playoff, and we're going to talk through.
Do you have do you have predictions for me, or because I don't? They're not showing up on my link, so I'll have to do them.
Here's what you're going to do. Go to your link. Are you looking at it?
I'm looking at it.
Do you see at the top where it says week and it's a drop-down menu?
Yeah, it says wild card. Yeah, but it doesn't have it picked for some reason.
Yeah, you have to make the picks.
Okay.
You pick who
we're
wins
making them live.
Loses.
We're making them live.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
I already did. Yeah, you just pick who wins and loses, and then after you go, like, you can go through it right now, and then it'll show you a bracket after you.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I have the Browns and the Patriots. I'll have the Browns winning that game. I have the Titans and Ravens. That's a tough game. I'll go with the Titans getting their revenge over last year. Chiefs and the Chargers, not hard. The Chiefs, Rams and Cardinals. Let's stay on brand and say the Cardinals win. 49ers and football team. That's actually tough. I'll go with the football team. Seahawks and the Packers, and I will have the Packers winning that.
So I will say, let me pull up last year's.
Yep.
The thing I always go into when it comes to playoff matchups is there's always X amount of road teams.
Oh, I was about to say, I only picked one road team to win.
That's the thing. When I only pick one road team, like last year we had, so for the wild card round, we had Saturday's games, we had 2 road teams won. The Rams beat the Seahawks, the Bucks beat the football team.
Okay, so I have one. There was 2.
Then on Sunday, we had the Ravens beat the Titans and the Browns beat the Steelers.
Okay.
So we had
the Browns didn't just beat the Steelers. The Browns didn't just beat the Steelers.
They demolished the Steelers.
They absolutely bent them over.
So last year we had the majority of them. So for me, a rule of thumb that I usually do is I try to at least 2 road teams move on. Yeah. At least 2. And that's what I've got. To where similar matchups that we have, by the way, is the big difference is that in yours, the Bills have a bye. Yes. The Bills didn't get the bye in mine. The Chiefs got the bye. Okay. So I also don't have the Browns are 10-7, but the Browns are not in the playoffs.
Jeez.
The Browns are not. Actually, what I'm gonna have us do really quick is, do you see on your predictor where it says division and it's blue? Right under where it says 2021-22 season?
Yes.
Click that so it switches to conference.
Okay.
List off your 1 through 7 real quick.
Hold on.
So on each side, they should go to conference. Did it do that?
Oh, yeah.
List off your 1 through 7 for the AFC so people know.
AFC 1 through 7, Bills, Chiefs, Titans, Browns, Patriots, Ravens, Chargers. And then the NFC, Buccaneers, Packers, football team, Rams, Cardinals, Niners, Seahawks.
Okay. Yeah. So like my difference is like I've got Chiefs, Ravens, Titans, Patriots, Bills, Colts, and then Steelers. And then the NFC is Buccaneers, Packers 1-2. The Rams and the Cowboys 3-4. Seahawks, Saints, and Niners. So my playoffs, I've got the wild card round. The Bills walking into New England. I love Mac Jones. I love him on the Patriots. What I've saw this season, the Bills can't, like the Bills don't lose. Like the Bills beat Bill basically. I would love.
You imagine if he You imagine if he walks in with a rookie quarterback and takes down the Bills.
I would love if they won that game, but I can't go against the Bills in the playoffs. So the Bills beat the Patriots. Then I have another, like my AFC, like really all my wild card games I really want to happen because they'd be just good games. Then you get the NFC South championship between the Colts and the Titans. I have the Titans winning it in Nashville. I can't go with, like, I want to go with Carson Wentz. Titans are just a good team. And in them at home, choice. I got to go with them. And then Ravens Steelers in Baltimore. Ravens with the win. Good. Ravens just win hands down. Then in the NFC, I've got the Seahawks versus the Cowboys in Dallas. That's my road win. So I have 2 road wins. The Seahawks are the team that grabs the win in Dallas. Saints, Rams in LA. Saints could grab a win.
Revenge.
But
Dude, Ricky, revenge.
But
revenge
I got to go with the better quarterback, Jake. I got to go with the Rams.
Are we sure that Matthew Stafford's better than Jameis Winston? I don't know.
He is. I think he is. Let's be honest, my guy. And then I have just the matchup of matchups. Could you imagine Trey Lance walking into Lambeau Field, Aaron Rodgers playing the team he wanted to be on, the team he wanted the Packers to trade him to? Aaron Rodgers with the win. You don't walk into Lambeau in the playoffs and win unless your name's Tom motherfucking Brady.
Unless it's the NFC Championship.
Yeah. And your name's Tom motherfucking Brady. Kiss the ring. But... yeah, like I want all these games to happen, by the way, because of like the like what you said, the revenge game. Oh, I want Saints and Rams. I want Saints to feel that.
Oh, I might have to go to that.
Could you imagine that hate? Like that would be in New Orleans hate week for the entire.
I might have to go to that game if it would happen.
In LA, you fly.
Yeah, I might have to fly cross country for that game just to see the revenge.
Are we taking off work and going to that game?
I would have to at that point, yeah. I would have to.
I mean, if you're going, I'm going, my guy.
Hey,
I would have to.
We'll see.
What's your divisional round then?
My divisional rounds end up being the Chiefs and the Titans and the Bills and the Browns in the AFC, and in the NFC, Packers, football team, Buccaneers, Cardinals.
So go ahead, take us through your divisional round.
Pretty simple. I'm going to have every home team winning. Okay. Chiefs and Bills, no way they're losing to them. And Packers and Bucks, no way they're losing to the football team or Cardinals.
So last year, we had one road team win in the divisional round. And I'm not going to say who. You guys know who it is. I don't have to bring up any open wounds.
Go to the next. Who are your predictions, Ricky?
But we had one team win on the road last year. So I have the same thing. I've got one road team winning. And it's my matchups are in the AFC. I'll go with them, give the winners. I have Titans-Ravens. A rematch of last year. Except this time it's in Baltimore. And the Titans get their revenge. They go, hey, Baltimore. You really showed us up last time, huh? But guess what? Yeah. We don't have Arthur Smith anymore holding us back. We're going to go ahead and beat you. Lamar Jackson, who?
My fantasy quarterback. Leave him alone.
Titans go ahead, get the win. Then I've just got a good old-fashioned rematch, Jake. An AFC title rematch. Bills at Chiefs. The Chiefs. I can't go against the Chiefs.
You can't.
You can't go against the Chiefs. Like
you can't.
I can't. I would love to, but I can't. So I'm going with the Chiefs in that one. Then on the NFC side, you got the Rams stepping into Lambeau. Last time I checked, Tom motherfucking Brady does not play for the LA Rams. So the Packers are going to win. Aaron Rodgers just keeps doing these all year long as he keeps winning. The Seahawks go into Tampa, and the Tampa Bay Gronkadeers, they go ahead and they're saying, hey, well, you know what? We're going back for that AFC title. We're going to have a little rematch on our hands. So Conference championship style. What do you got?
AFC, I have the Bills and the Chiefs. And you know what we're not going to do, Ricky? We're not going to bet against the Chiefs. So Patrick Mahomes is going back to the Super Bowl once again. And then I have the Bucks hosting the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? It's finally going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is finally going to make it back to a Super Bowl and go into Tampa Brady and get revenge for last year. And in his big fucking year, he's going to go to the Super Bowl and play the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah.
So last year in the conference championship games, I can't. This is weird for me, by the way. So last year we had a road team and a home team.
That's what I have.
Both win, and that's what I have too. Because I've got Titans, Chiefs. You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
You can't bet against the Chiefs.
They won at home last year. They're going to win at home this year. Mahomes is going back to the Super Bowl. I also have the Buccaneers hosting Aaron Rodgers.
Say it.
Just doing these. The Packers are in the Super Bowl. We have the exact same Super Bowl, Jake.
Yeah.
Both you and I did not expect this at all, by the way. Both of us have Packers and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Where is the locate? Don't tell me if you know. I'm looking it up. Where is the Super Bowl this year? It is in
LA, isn't it? Vegas or LA?
So it was Tampa Bay last year.
It's Vegas, I think. I think it's Vegas.
SoFi, so it's in LA.
LA, okay, the
LA.
Rams, yeah.
So you got Aaron Rodgers
going back home.
Going home. Patrick Mahomes. What would you have in the Super Bowl if we had Aaron Rodgers versus Patty Mahomes? Would you bet against Patrick Mahomes?
No. No, you want to give my prediction?
Go ahead.
The big fuck you train ends here. He gets to the Super Bowl and he loses because Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT and he's going to win another Super Bowl if his offensive line can stay healthy this year. I just don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. It's something I don't do anymore.
So, you know my color of brand, right? Like, I go with this a lot, right? Especially at predictions. Yeah. It's why some of my bets end up losing. Some of them. Because I end up going with the heart sometimes over the big old brain. Aaron Rodgers is going to win a Super Bowl this year, guys. The Packers are going to be lifting the trophy, which was named after them. The Lombardi.
And Jamie said over under 65 points if they play in the Super Bowl. We're betting that over. we're betting that over.
We're gonna hammer that over.
We're gonna hammer that over. It's just gonna be an air show.
Oh man, the over under on like passing yards too. Just hammer both of them down for Rodgers. And
it's
Patrick.
The two most talented quarterbacks ever. So I mean, they're just going at it.
And I'll tell you this Super Bowl would be no matter who wins it, number 1 versus number 2 in MVP voting.
Probably.
It would be the top MVPs. Like, these are the two teams that are, like, the only team that I feel like, there's only 2 teams that I feel like could crash this party. And it's the Bills and the Bucks. Exactly who you had in your championship games. The only reason I didn't have it is because the Bills didn't win their division. Yeah,
I agree. I think they're the only two. There's 4 teams this year. I don't really see another team taking it. Maybe the Titans, looking outside of Tannehill, can
but that's where we get into dark horse territory.
Yeah, I don't really think there's many dark horses this year. I think that the Packers and the Bucks and the Chiefs and the Bills are just a level above everybody else.
I would say I have 3 legit. I would say I have 3 legit dark horses, and by dark horses, I mean teams that could get on a roll and potentially get to the Super Bowl. The first one would be the Rams, now that they have Matthew Stafford. If that defense is clicking and that offense is healthy, they could potentially be a dark horse. I would also say the 49ers, like, if whoever they have in at quarterback starts clicking, that team is talented enough to get to a Super Bowl. They were in a Super Bowl not even 2 years ago. And then the Titans, who you just said. I'm leaving off the Ravens because of the J.K. Like, if J.K. Dobbins was healthy, I would say that for sure. But, like, they're a team that, like, I don't know 9 times out of 10 or out of 10 times how many times I would pick the Ravens to beat the Chiefs if they went head-to-head in an AFC championship game.
The Rams are a dark horse. I have to say the Saints will be a dark horse because Jameis MVP season. And I guess the Browns even a little bit I think could be a dark horse just because if they can find some consistency and health and being healthy for the entire year, that team is good enough to do something. So
Jamie said that game would remind me of the Rams Chiefs games that were double the offense, half the defense.
Literally, it would be so much fun. I think there are 4 clear-cut teams that are above everybody else, and there's 2 teams out of those 4 teams that are clear above everybody else. Could the football team slip in? Could the Rams slip in? Could the Titans slip in? Those are like the only 3 teams that I could think of. But I just think the Bills, Chiefs, Bucks, and Packers are just a level above everybody else.
So, last thing I'm gonna do before we get out of here is we got to do 2 things. First off, fun little thing I like to do after the predictions is draft order. The top 10 in the draft based off of what we think. I will say this, off of our records, both you and I have the same top 3. Same exact top 3. There's one difference. Okay, you have Detroit number 1 and the Jets 2. Yeah, mine, because of win-losses, was Jets get the number 1 pick, Lions get the number 2 pick. Which in your case, Shane Rattler, probably congratulations. You're going to.
Is it Spencer Rattler?
I thought it was Shane Rattler.
Bro, I haven't even looked at. I don't.
Spencer Rattler, you're a Lion, unless someone else
congrats
goes off. We both have the Texans at 3.
Yep, I don't know what they're gonna do.
After that, my 4 through 10, I've got the Eagles at 4, the Jaguars at 5, Panthers at 6, Falcons at 7, Giants at 8. Vikings have a top 10 pick at 9, and then the football team at 10. Bears are at 11, by the way. Yours is Broncos at 4, Jaguars at 5, the Colts at 6, the Panthers at 7, Raiders at 8, Giants at 9. Or no, Raiders at 8, Giants at 9, Vikings at 10. So, a few similarities. Last thing I want to do, though, is I want to ask you some season awards really quick, right here at the end.
Okay.
MVP, is it Aaron Rodgers?
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so Mahomes plus 500, Aaron Rodgers plus 1,000. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm going Aaron Rodgers, by the way, for MVP.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Najee Harris.
Najee Harris plus 900.
That'd be my
betting odds. I'm going I think it's either it's gonna be one of the quarterbacks. I'm gonna say Lawrence or Jones.
If Fields starts early enough, it could be Fields.
That's what I'm saying. I think Fields could
Najee Harris is just gonna see too much of a workload where his stats are just gonna be astronomical for a rookie.
I could see. I think they're gonna favor a quarterback though, like the voters. Maybe. Jones and Lawrence, I think those are safe bets. I'm probably gonna put my bet on Mac Jones, but Fields. He is worth a sprinkle if you think he's going to start week 4. He is worth a sprinkle. What about defensive rookie? Is there one, to me, there's no one that jumps off the page. Maybe Patrick Surtain, but how many times do cornerbacks win Rookie of the Year?
I'm not sure there's anybody.
Be Micah Parsons and
I would probably lean Micah Parsons because Dallas gets that kind of branding and he's going to get a lot of sacks. So, I'd probably lean Micah Parsons.
Best defensive player overall.
Aaron Donald every year.
He's the leading favorite at plus 500. However, if you want to be bold, Chase Young plus 1,100.
That's a good bet too. I think they're 1-2 for sure.
I would probably go Donald or Garrett. I'll probably be boring and agree with you, Aaron Donald, just because it's Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
2 more. Comeback player of the year.
Jameis Winston. I think he's
plus 1,000.
Jameis.
Plus 1,000. See, I think Joe Burrow or Dak Prescott win it.
Dak could probably win it just because Dallas.
Yeah, if they make the playoffs again.
Then he wins it.
Joe Burrow is my outside bet.
But if Jameis balls and we win the division, you gotta give it to Jameis.
You know what? I may sprinkle $10 on that. Just because of you. And then last but not least, Coach of the Year.
Andy, big Andy. We love Andy.
Andy Reid.
We love Andy.
Andy Reid is plus 2,700.
Wow.
The leading favorite is Brandon Staley.
Why?
I believe he's with the Chargers, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he the Chargers coach now? Let me see. Yeah. He was with the. He used to be with the Rams. Now he's with the Chargers. The top betting odds are, you've got Brandon Staley at 1,300, Brian Flores in Miami 1,400, along with Arthur Smith in Atlanta, Kyle Shanahan 1,600, and then McDermott at 1,700 and McVay at 1,800.
McVay's a good bet too. McVay could be a good bet. Yeah, I'd probably pick. I just lead Andy Reid because he's the best.
Is it basically just like which team's going to improve the most? Like,
yeah, that's basically all it is.
So then, what in that sense? You just look at the records. Which records did we have improving the most? Like what? Mine would be the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And yours would be what? Which team did you have improving the most?
I don't even know. The Bills probably because they're 15-2.
The Browns maybe?
Yeah, maybe the Browns.
Oh, or would it be Ron Rivera if they go 13-4?
Oh yeah, it would be the football team. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be Ron Rivera.
So
I like Riverboat Ron. He's the man.
Just wanted to give a little bit of insight here at the end for those of you who like season awards. Also, Jamie says Jalen Phillips for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I thought about mentioning his name just because he was a pass rusher, and usually pass rushers do get voted on heavily. But yeah, that's gonna do it. You want to know how long this was, Jake?
Hour and 40 minutes.
Hour and 45. But that was with the countdown and everything, so maybe hour 40. It was a fun time. I love these. Yeah. Now I can't wait to in a week see how wrong we were. Because we'll be wrong about one team loses that we thought would win, and people are gonna be like, "See, these guys are bums."
People will bring up my Colts record as if I'm not trolling and thinking I was being serious, but
just trolling.
Every Tuesday, did we settle on every Tuesday? We're gonna be live for Mondays.
Monday, okay. We're gonna do it, but like you said, we're gonna do it before Monday Night Football, or around the same time. Jake and I are gonna go live every Monday night. What time do you get home from work?
Like 6.
So
like 7 Eastern.
Yeah, we'll probably do it around 7 Eastern-ish, maybe a little early beforehand, where we just go through all the games. We recap the week of football. We give you our thoughts. We'll do that every Monday for you guys. And then Monday Night Football is just Monday Night Football. Yeah, if there's anything you want to see from us, though, let us know down below. Let us know what you guys think. Thank you for everyone who chimed in during chat. We had Jamie, NoMam81, Leveled Up, Optimal Kane, Chainsaw. We had the Apollo. I'm shortening for some of these. We had Spider was in here a little bit. If I missed you, it's because also Cody fans saying Harrison Pittsburgh is going to be huge for that Najee Harris pick. But that's going to do it for us. Make sure to join the Discord if you're not in it already. Greatest community in the universe. That is down below in the description. Support us, patreon.com/MVPvids, or become a channel member today. And also hit that subscribe button if you are not already. Stay tuned to what's going on here at MVP. That's going to do it for us. I'm not going to keep this outro super long. That is Jake Neverman. I'm Ricky Widmer. And as always, have a good day, everybody.